Yo, so if you're not following me on my Instagram, then you're definitely missing out because I've rolled some of the craziest rolls on that page. And I've always gotten a bunch of comments just like this one asking to do how-to videos or tutorials. So I'm going to be doing one, but for this exact roll. So let's get right into it. And in this video, we're going to be rolling up the helicopter, or the way I like to say it, the helicopter, because you're going to be helicoptering after hitting this shit. So let's get right into it. Okay, so if you're new to this channel, which you most likely are because I don't have any subscribers yet, but that's okay. You'll notice that I usually start off with a solid doobie, okay? And then I end up usually cutting it down to size, sealing it up, and using it as a base to then make it into whatever it is that I'm making that week. So for this week, I'm making the helicopter, so we're gonna be cutting it about halfway, a little bit more than halfway down, and then sealing it right up with some glue guard and a strip of paper. And then after we're done with that, we can go ahead and get rid of that little twisty bit at the top, and then we got our base. Pushing the base aside for now, now we can get into working on the tail end of the helicopter, which is also going to act as the tip where we're going to be inhaling all of the good, if you know what I mean. So we're just going to decrown that little joint there by cutting off the tip, and then we're going to make a little hole at the back of the base, kind of towards the top end, so we can kind of make it look more somewhat like the helicopter shape. After sealing those two up, we can go ahead and move on to making the propellers, or should I say terpellers? No? Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so just for the sake of trying to keep everything as precise as possible, we're going to be using a mold of your average pencil. So it's going to get your paper, wrap it around, and then fill it right up. So we're going to do that for not one, but 3 joints. For the first 2 joints, we're going to be putting one through the other like any typical cross joint to mimic the shape of the propellers, or terpellers. So when it comes to rolling a typical cross joint, you would have to put a hole through the joint that is going through the other joint. But in this roll, you don't have to do that because we're going to be putting a hole through both of them at the same time. I'll show you what I mean right now. So as you can see, by cutting a hole in the center, it allows for all 4 sections of the joint to be lit at the exact same time by putting a tip in that center. Something like these little sticks that come with these black cones that I bought off of Amazon. So we'll be using this as our mouthpiece. So after we seal the mouthpiece in place, we're going to have to be making a little hole at the top of the little base of the helicopter so that we can actually have it sit at the top. After you cut out a little hole at the top of the helicopter, you're going to want to actually pat it down just a tad, with just enough space to where you can shove a little piece of paper in that hole and then seal it right up. And as you can see, we basically made just like a little pocket just to where the mouthpiece can fit perfectly. And with that third joint that we had, we're actually going to be cutting it down the middle and using them as like those little landing pad stick things. And then off camera, I rolled an even skinnier joint that we'll be cutting down to size to stick into those sticks that will be sticking into the body of the helicopter. And I hope all that makes sense. If not, then I really hope you're a visual learner, because for whatever reason, no matter how many times I record it, words just never come out the way you want them to. Okay, now that we stuck these sticks into that stick, we can stick it into the base of the joint. So after making 4 little holes on the bottom of the helicopter, you can go ahead and pop those suckers right in, seal them right up with some glue guard and some paper, and I think we're pretty much done. And then after putting it all together, I decided, for the sake of aesthetics, not really functionality, I decided to cut the mouthpiece of the propellers or terpellers a little bit shorter, just because I thought it sounded a little too high. And after doing so, I am proud to say that we are finally done with this roll. So let's go ahead and show you exactly how I would light this bad boy up. So as you just saw rolling this entire joint with me, this is actually a 2-piece joint. So we will not be lighting it all at once. We're going to be taking the propellers, or the terpellers, right off. and smoking that separately from the entire rest of the body. So I think this is a super cool 2-piece joint that you can try and roll yourself. I don't know if this is a intermediate or maybe advanced level roll. I think it's somewhat in the middle, so let me know what you guys think. And if you guys have stuck around all the way to the end of the video, I really appreciate you guys. If you guys want to subscribe, like, comment, do all that good stuff. I'm really trying to get this channel up and running, so all that really helps. So if you guys want to go watch any of my other videos, I'd really appreciate that. If not, love y'all, stay sexy, deuces.